All right, so if you already know about the distributive property and you've been working on it in your math class, I would just listen up. Like, there's a few things I want to go over, like with the negatives, but this video is going to be very short. So when we use the distributive property, sometimes we have to use it before we can combine like terms because we don't know what the value of x is. So I call the distributive property like the diving dolphins. The 4 has to dive over and multiply by the x, and the 4 has to dive over and multiply by the 3, or distribute. Okay, so when we're diving those dolphins, it means we're multiplying. So if I expanded that out, it would look like this: 4 times x plus 4 times 3. Okay, now we can simplify that further. We don't know what x is, so it's just going to stay 4x. But then we do know that we're going to add 4 times 3, which is 12 to that. Okay, so my simplified expression would be 4x plus 12 after using the distributive property. So we're going to do the top row together. Looking at number 1, if I take 8 and I distribute it to the x, that's going to give me 8x, or 8 times x. Then I'm going to say plus, I'm going to go back to the 8, and I'm going to multiply it by negative 4. So what is 8 times negative 4? Negative 32. So when we're multiplying by the first number in the parentheses and then by the second. And remember that negative belongs to the 4. Just like in combining like terms, if there's a negative sign or a minus sign in front of the number, in front of a constant or a term, it has to be included with the negative. Okay, so then we've got 8x plus a negative becomes a negative 32. And you could leave it as this, but we'll go ahead and simplify it to this. All right, the second one, 3, and then in parentheses 5x plus 7. We're going to take the 3 and we're going to multiply it by 5x. So 3 times 5 is 15. The x gets plopped behind. Got 15x. Then plus 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, so we got 15x plus 21. That one's pretty straightforward. The next one, we have to be very, very careful with these negatives. So we've got negative 2 times m. Okay, that's just negative 2m. However, the second part to that, you're doing negative 2 times a negative 5. Negative 2 times a negative 5. So what's a negative times a negative? Because the negative is 5, the 5 is negative, and the 2 is negative. We've got to say plus. Negative 2 times negative 5 is plus 10. Okay? I'm going to scroll down to number 12. I just want to point one thing out. Every single one of these problems has a number in front of the parentheses. This one does not. Number 12 does not. So there is not an imaginary, but an understood 1 right in the front. Okay, so you're really multiplying negative 1 times 6x and negative 1 times negative 3 for that problem. All right, so I'm going to flip it to the back. There's 2 I want to go over on the back. So you, for the back, have to combine like terms and distribute for some of these problems. So number 1, number 2, number 3, you're just combining like terms. But if you look at number 4, that's the first one you see on there that you're going to have to distribute before you can combine. So any problem that has the parentheses, you'll need to distribute first. So I can't really do anything with the negative 21 yet, so I'm just going to bring that down. But then I'm going to start using the distributive property. So I say 5 times 8 is 40, and then plus, I'm going to distribute the 5 to the negative 4p. So 5 times negative 4p, 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, and I put the p on the end. Okay, now I can combine my like terms. So negative 21 plus 40, what is that? That would give me a 19, and then the negative 20p, I can't combine anything, so I'm going to put it at the back. Okay, and that's it. We'll do one other one that's a little tricky at the bottom here, number 10. Number 10, again, we have to combine like terms and distribute. So 19 can't really be combined with anything yet. Okay, then we have negative, this is very important, that's a negative 3, right? There's a minus sign in front of it. So negative 3 times 12a. So 3 times 12 is 36, and negative 3 times 12 is negative 36a. Then we've got a negative 3 times a negative 16. A negative times a negative is a positive in this instance. Negative 3 times negative 16 is negative 48. So be very careful with those double negatives when there's a negative in front of the number in parentheses and a negative in front of the number in the parentheses. So then we'll combine 19 plus 48, whatever that is, minus 36a. So you can finish that one on your own. All right, so whoa. Sorry about that. So what I would like you to do is finish this one up, and then you're gonna start the scavenger hunt around the room, okay? Awesome job, you guys. Keep up the good work. Make sure you get this checked, though.